Good afternoon and welcome to our final presentation of the day. We're proud to present Angelo Comazzetto with Riverbed. Please give him a warm welcome.
Hi. So we'll dive right into what we want to show you today, which is actually some very cool stuff that probably solves a lot of problems you have in the real world with VPCs and with network architecture. So if you're like most admins, you consider your data center to be your stronghold, your fortress, where all of your data goes. And it's supposed to be in a very secure state, a very hardened state. It's the place where you think you are safe and your data is safe. That's the image that you pitch to the people who ask you. What it normally looks like is something like this instead. On any given day in networking, something is on fire. Somebody left a door open, somebody opened a port they shouldn't have on a firewall, something is leaking somewhere it shouldn't, and very rarely does that happen in a nice, controlled, orderly fashion where people simply exit the room without panicking. Now, because of that, you started to look at the cloud. And today we're going to take you on a quick journey as to what your cloud adoption might have looked like, because we've all gone through a very similar process. At first, you were promised that the cloud was this place where your castle could float above all of your enemies. You didn't have to worry about the traditional trolls banging on the wall. You didn't have to worry about people firing arrows over into it. Instead, there was rumblings that for a few pennies per hour, you could make a bunch of things someone else's problem. Now, in reality, that's a journey. And everybody has gone to the part where they were sitting there, they read something about the cloud, and they started their journey to the cloud. But along that way, you've had to make some decisions. And some of those decisions might have more complexity than others. And some of them can be changed. So what it probably looked like is you did something like this. You logged in, and unless you're a die-hard developer, you probably wanted to start with a server. You wanted to see what it would be like to have unlimited cores, unlimited memory, something like that. So you launched a VPC. And unfortunately, what you probably didn't do was start by opening the book on IAM and on CloudTrail. You didn't try to build a whole secure network with all of the available tools that Amazon gives you in their web services platform. Instead, you launched some servers. And then you launched more servers. And those servers were so useful that you just had to show somebody. So you went to one of your colleagues and you said, look what I've done. I've made servers, and I've made awesome things at the touch of a button that I didn't have to issue POs for. I didn't have to wait for the servers to come. I didn't have to plug in cables. This is amazing. It's like someone let me loose on an unlimited virtualization cluster all for myself. And because of that, you then might have looked at more services and more things that you could do with that platform. And the platform itself was so enticing that other people in your company also wanted to use it. And so you're the good network admin, and you said, sure, I'll make some CloudFormation templates. I'll let other people spin up servers. And as a result, me as the network admin, I don't have to do as much. Because of all the departments and other areas of the company are taking care of their own IT infrastructure, all I have to do is make sure it all doesn't burn. Now, the problem with that is overnight, you went from having a data center to having 9 data centers, or 90, or 100. Because as people with credit cards added more roles and rights to your organization, you woke up one morning and you now have a global IT network spread out across different data centers in different regions, and they're all using it for different things. And you're trying to figure out how that happened. So your opinion of your poor users changed. You didn't so much want them to keep using the cloud as you wanted to stop them from using so much cloud until you could get a handle on just how fast you were growing. And so instead, you had a new problem. How do you connect your workforce to the cloud? You still have buildings where people go to work. Humans need to access those resources securely. The more networks you have in AWS, the more things people want to get to. And the problem with that is before, you would connect people to your data center. Very, very easy. Use traditional network gear, build VPN tunnels, and away you go. And however, as things got more complex, more people came, you have more VPCs, and they need connectivity. And so maybe you looked at something like Direct Connect. And Direct Connect was not designed to connect your workforce to the cloud. It was designed to connect your data center to the cloud to move your applications into AWS. That's what it was built for. And the problem with that is Direct Connect is useful for moving the data center to the cloud, but all of those branches with all of those employees you have out there in the world, the ideal solution is if they could connect to their VPCs securely in the most quick and affordable way. But instead, being a network admin, it's far easier to just make some changes in your data center to route them across the existing infrastructure you have into Direct Connect and then into AWS. It's just more efficient. Because doing it the way you want is not difficult. Connecting every individual branch to the cloud, to the VPCs that are changing almost daily, that is not a difficult thing. It's just a tedious thing. Any network admin for the last 10 years can build VPN tunnels and can configure boxes to talk to individual VPCs. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of IPs, a lot of subnets, a lot of VPN parameters, any of which can go wrong at any given moment. So what do you do when your single entire workforce wants to connect to all of the networks that you have today, but most importantly, all of the networks that you don't have yet, which are coming tomorrow? Because the very second that you hit enter on that last policy, that last VPN tunnel, all VPCs are connected to the right branches and everything looks good, someone comes along and says, we want 5 new VPCs. Or we bought a company and all of their resources need to get moved into the cloud. Especially with cloud, the networks change almost daily. And they do that because they're incredibly dynamic. However, a lot of the gear you have in the real world to connect your workforce to the cloud is actually incredibly static and very difficult. So, in fact, when you went to move to the cloud, the promise of what's in the cloud is very, very powerful. But it can be quite difficult to keep your workforce connected in the most secure and most efficient way when you're trying to access resources. So what you wanted to do was do something like this. Thousands of VPN tunnels across hundreds of branches, with every branch going only to the VPC that they need to be. Very easy to add new VPCs, remove old ones, stand up ones for testing, connect them to central shared services, all of the things that you want to do. But instead, you were forced to do something more like this. Connect everybody to an entry point, and then dump them into AWS, and then transit across peering and other things that are available within the cloud. And there's multiple regions, and there's multiple accounts. So instead, we need to take a different approach. Now, it turns out in our Lord of the Rings analogy here, the right approach was on the other side. What if you had the ability to see every single moving piece of infrastructure that you had? What if you were able to, from a central manager, see not only all of your branches and all of the networks at those branches, but know all of the VPCs that you have and all of the subnets, and allow the automation to do all of the heavy lifting for you in a trustworthy way? If you were able to do that, then all you needed to do is sit in your nice high tower. You needed to observe what's happening. You know that you want to connect certain branches to certain VPCs or certain regions to other regions. But however, you don't want to do the individual piecemeal work of marching the bands. You want to issue orders to a general, and you want the general to execute that for you. So rather than take you through even more slides, I want to show you a product from Riverbed called Riverbed Steel Connect, which shows you how you can connect your branches to the cloud without really having to know very much about networking at all. And so what I'll do is I'll log in very quickly to a company which has already deployed Riverbed Steel Connect. And I'll just turn on the mirroring here. And we'll see if that lets that work. Or I can do it this way too. So this company has already deployed Riverbed Steel Connect, and these are my branches that are in the world. Riverbed Steel Connect is a multi-manager, which means all of the boxes and places that are running our Riverbed Steel Connect products are already online, and people are going to work. But now what I want to do is I want to connect my branches to the cloud. And so what I'm going to do, in the demo time we have today, I don't have a full chance to take you through all the cool stuff Steel Connect does, but I am going to show you the AWS piece. So this is a branch that I have. It's Los Angeles. When I click on it, it'll show you that Los Angeles is connected to the rest of the company. It has a VPN tunnel to my data centers, to my other branches, the normal full mesh SD-WAN automation that Riverbed Steel Connect offers. However, if I go here to network design and I look at my sites, I have all these sites, Manila, Manaus, Mexico City, but I want to add an AWS VPC and make my entire company able to see that directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our AWS section, and I've already added an AWS account into Steel Connect Manager. That's because Steel Connect Manager needs to be able to deploy VPCs, it needs to be able to build VPN tunnels, it needs to be able to interface with my AWS account. I'm a big security guy, and I could spend 20 minutes on telling you how we use cross-account, third-party roles to do everything nice and quick, but I won't do that today. Just keep in mind that we can have multiple accounts across multiple areas of your business, and once you add those into Steel Connect Manager with a very easy process using IAM, what you get is you get a graphical list of all of the VPCs you have in all regions. So I've already connected one VPC to my company down here, which is my security VPC, which happens to be hosted in US West. Let's add one in Tokyo and watch as the automation connects my VPC in Tokyo. I have a VPC right here called private. When I hit connect, Steel Connect will create a site for Tokyo, which didn't exist. So right here I now have a site called Tokyo. That wasn't there the last time. And now what I want to do is I actually want to kick off a deployment of a Steel Connect appliance in that VPC, which will connect it to every other Steel Connect appliance that I have. So I'll come here, I'll click deploy. I will choose an instance size. This is all done via AWS Marketplace, so I don't even have license keys that I need. So I'll pick an instance size. I'll choose if I want Riverbed Steel Connect WAN or Steelhead WAN optimization to make sure that the link that I'm building also has a full enterprise level WAN optimization connection across it. I do want redundancy because high availability is life. And when I click submit, what's going to happen is Steel Connect is going to reach out to my VPC. It's going to find a free subnet. I don't want to deploy our appliances in your subnet because that's yours. We're going to find a free subnet in your VPC. We are going to load up our gateway and our Steelhead WAN optimization appliance, and we're going to launch it into those subnets. And then over the course of the next 3 or 4 minutes, that appliance is going to come online. It's going to update itself to the latest version. And then it's going to reach out and build a VPN tunnel from this VPC to all of my other physical sites and VPCs that I have anywhere in the world. Whether it's a simple Soho router in a home office employee workstation, or whether it's another VPC in another region, like Tokyo needs to talk to the security VPC. Unlike something like VPC peering, which can only get you from one end of the peer to the other, you can direct a branch, like a branch that's in Tokyo, to first talk to Tokyo, then cross a VPC peering connection that we overlay our VPN tunnel on to US East, access resources in US East, or even go out to the internet from US East itself. So we can overlay across VPC peering connections to overcome some of the limits that VPC peering connections actually have. Also, once you've built the tunnel, here we're waiting for Amazon to boot our instances. It takes usually 5 or 10 minutes while I drink my coffee for that site to be reachable by the rest of the company. However, I've already deployed a VPC as well in this region. So here's my AWS security site. And the security site is online. We'll deal with the resolution problems of our projector here, and I'll just close that line. But most importantly, once a site is online, if I click the VPN lines that are being built there, we see the level of resiliency and the level of detail that we get here, which shows us exactly latency, jitter, packet loss, all of the communication things that we need to know about that tunnel. Because once you have a tunnel from a branch to a VPC, you can also do very SD-WAN style things to it. You can direct certain applications to take certain paths into the VPC. You can have multiple uplinks at a branch. I can plug at my branch a cable connection, a DSL, and I can have my MPLS all connected to the on-prem gateway from Steel Connect. And all 3 of those will provide a different path into that VPC. Which means if you're currently relying on MPLS connections for enterprise-level connectivity to VPCs over Direct Connect, you could use just traditional internet connections at a much cheaper rate and still have full reliability and full redundancy. So Steel Connect provides you many options. The one thing we've just announced here at reInvent is not only do we build our VPN tunnels across internet gateway links, but we now have added a Direct Connect overlay as well. So from a branch, I can take the traditional path of from the branch to the data center, from the data center to the Direct Connect data center, and from the Direct Connect data center into AWS. And I can use the cable connection to go directly from the branch into the VPC. I can do balancing. I can do high availability. I can steer certain applications to prefer the Direct Connect link to the VPC versus the internet gateway link. All of that is done as I'm talking to you without entering subnets, without entering net masks. The Steel Connect manager knows the IP address of every uplink in the company. So when I go to network design and pick an uplink, and I filter for that site that I've just done here, let me pick one from an AWS link. Let's pick the site in security. So this is the uplink that we've created in the security VPC for our master and our slave gateway. And we can see the IP addresses. We know everything about your network because the Steel Connect manager is collecting that telemetry from every box that you've deployed. So unlike traditional network security appliances, which require you to log into them, configure the interfaces, configure the IPs, bring them online, and then use a very complex multi-manager to push policy out, SD-WAN has already solved that problem. There's many SD-WAN vendors. We happen to be one of the best. But the power that SD-WAN gives you and the flexibility it gives you over your network with Riverbed is also extended into AWS. So you have the same power, the same application-based routing, the same visibility, and all of the same things you want from a next-generation dynamic network is available in VPC using the Steel Connect product. Most importantly, I don't even have to go to AWS. If I was to log into the console, you would now see there's security appliances running in a VPC. They've got security groups attached to them. The VPN tunnel are gateway builds. We don't even use the Amazon VPN for that. We're fully highly available across redundant availability zones. We can connect regions together, branches to regions, branches to other branches, clouds to clouds. All of that is done using traditional networking infrastructure that you're used to using. We just don't make you touch it manually, hand by hand. Because again, it's not difficult to connect an organization together with very secure encrypted private links. It's just boring, and it's just tedious. Admins know what they want to do. Steel Connect lets you tell our system what you want to do, and it does the rest. And you can audit it. You can see what we've done in CloudTrail. You own the Steel Connect manager and the gateways themselves. It's not a service that we just tell you to trust us. You can see it, and you can touch it. And that's why we think that this is something that would be worth your time to come see us at our booth and have a look at. Now, what I'm going to tell you is exactly at the end of the demo here. I'll just switch the screen share to extend again. And I'll take us back to our slide presentation to wrap up. So Steel Connect is basically a software-defined SD-WAN style product line of gateways, switches, and access points. Our gateways are very powerful, and they have the best cloud integration of any of the vendors. This is what some of the stuff in the real world looks like. But most importantly, keep us in mind, because while you're working on journeying to the cloud, keep in mind you have a workforce that's going to demand the very best in how to connect them to the cloud. And if you suddenly start spinning up all of your apps in VPCs, and the application is getting farther away from the user by your routing them through the data center that you're trying to get rid of, your user's acceptance of those solutions will challenge you as a network admin. With something like Steel Connect, you don't have to make that decision. You can fire up things in VPCs, connect them to your workforce in no time at all, tear everything down and change, add new regions. You can move through your whole network as dynamically as if it were all cloud powered. And you can only do that with something like Riverbed Steel Connect. We have a booth here in the show. My name is Angelo Comazzetto. I'm the Technical Director of Cloud. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. And thanks very much for coming to have a look at our session. I know you had lots of choice, and I appreciate your attention today.